Hi, I'm Amber,
And I'm Kirsten.
and you're listening to
Lurking in the Shadows.
Spooky Edition.
Hello, everybody.
Hi!
Welcome back.
This is our final spooky episode.
It is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ah, damn.
It
Well,
means we're at the end of October.
I'll pass the tissues for
Yeah.
all the spooky bitches crying with us.
Yeah.
And,
I'll be crying for weeks.
And pour one out for the spooky season, man.
Yeah.
Because it's come and gone.
Yeah.
Sad.
And if you follow us on Instagram, keep an eye out for our Instagram stories coming up at the end of October, like the 18th to the 24th, because me and Amber will be together in person doing some spooky things. So
Heck yeah.
we'll take you along on our stories.
Yes, and I do believe one of those will be Gettysburg, so I think
Yes.
that'll be quite interesting to bring. I'm
It'll be a
excited to
good
see Gettysburg.
tie-in.
Yeah, I haven't been to
Yeah.
Gettysburg in probably 15 or more years, honestly.
Yeah, it's been a long time for me too. I just haven't made my way over.
Yeah, so, and we will definitely, you know what I would love to find in Gettysburg? And I don't know, we could take suggestions even after the fact, but a cute little bakery or something. That would be cute. I don't know if they would have one in the little town, you know.
Well, in I think it's New Oxford, but we'll drive through on the way there. There's a coffee shop called, oh crap, now I forget. Voo Brews or something. Voodoo
I forget,
Brew
the one
or
you
something like
tagged
that.
me in, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
We'll have to check that one out.
Okay, that's the one. Yes. Okay, we got to definitely check that out. We are suckers for small little cafes and bakeries. So you have any suggestions of ones to ever check out anywhere? I don't care. We'll put it to the list. We in that town, we'll check them out.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yep.
But
today I'm supposed to be a devil, but I have nothing red. I realized I have no red clothing.
Really? I don't think I do either. I'm not a big red wearer, honestly.
Yeah, no, nothing.
I don't. You know, doesn't mean I'm going to add it to the list.
Yeah.
No, I won't change my ways just for an outfit, right?
No, maybe one shirt. I'll buy one red shirt someday.
Just when you're feeling a little devilish, got to put the outfit on.
Yeah.
Pull it out. I get it. But today we are covering first some spooky waters, and then afterwards.
Did we even say what this episode is?
No, we haven't yet. So welcome. It is spooky. That was what all mattered to us. We made sure you knew you were in for some spooks, you know. But
today is haunted bodies of water and orphanages
or hospitals, we'll say
/ hospital.
Yeah.
/ haunted building.
Yeah, I will say this was fun to do for the spooky season, but it was a challenge. I was surprised how challenging it really was to find history on buildings enough to like have a podcast about it. You know what I mean? Because of course you could find little news articles.
Right, yeah. Tell it for at least like long enough to actually have an episode worth talking about it.
Yeah. Instead of just a little blurb. A
little paragraph or something. Yeah.
So it was tough. And I struggled. You'll see later. I struggled with the orphanage part. So I do cover 2 hospitals, an abandoned orphanage, and then an asylum because I struggle to find information.
Yeah, but whatever. It's our podcast. We'll talk about whatever spooky building we want.
That's right. So buckle up and enjoy. I'm going to start us off with spooky water,
Yeah,
actually.
good variety.
Yeah. So I am talking about the forgotten town of Ferguson. It's located in Orangeburg County, South Carolina, and was founded in 1881. Two men by the name of Francis Beldler and Benjamin F. Ferguson from Chicago settled their newly founded timber company named Santee River Cypress Lumber Company here in South Carolina. This area,
It's a mouthful.
Yeah, I know. This area was a lush wetlands fed by a blackwater river, making it an ideal spot for a lumber company. The company owned almost 165,000 acres full of bald cypress trees. They purchased a lot of these acres at around $2 an acre. And with that low price, it was not hard to make a profit. With the money, they built
I wish.
right $2 an acre. Could you imagine $2 an acre?
No.
Like, wow. You can't even get a sandwich for $2.
No. No, not even. No.
No, not anymore. And they were buying plots of land for $2.
Yeah, that's insane.
That is insane. With the money, they then built a lumber town with paved streets, which was ahead of its time.
Yeah.
Homes with indoor plumbing, schools, a church, and coal gas street lighting. The post office in town opened in 1890. Ferguson died in 1905 before he got to see the town take off by 1910, with a decline over the next few years. There were around 350 workers that lived in this town with their families, but Ferguson and his partner were shitty CEO, exploiting these families, actually, and the workers. What they did is they created their own currency called Santee Mercantile Company with the label on the currency, and we'll post pictures of the coins. The workers would be paid in this currency, but they could not use that anywhere outside of the town. They could only use it in the stores in town.
Weird.
So, I mean, it like screwed. That's how they got paid, So, like, if anybody wanted to leave or move on or go travel outside of the town, they didn't have American currency to go do anything.
How is this allowed?
Apparently, not that I researched it further, but this is not like the first circumstance of this happening. Companies were like running like this back then, and which is, I mean, I'm not surprised. Shady people,
Yeah.
By 1915, the lumber company had shut down and laid off its last few workers. Bedlers, I should have looked that up, but his health declined, causing debt to add up until he died in 1924. This caused everyone to abandon the town and move on. The post office stayed in business until it finally closed in 1917, making the town of Ferguson officially a ghost town. It wasn't until because it had those paved roads, and you'll see what I'm going to cover. Obviously, you're like, why are you talking about this town? We're supposed to be talking about haunted water here. But it was ahead of its time. So I feel like it was a place that, even though it was abandoned, it probably could have maybe got developed into something more, because I've been to this area. I have visited where this is, and it's a beautiful area, and there's not a lot around. So I feel like it could have become a booming little town. But instead, it wasn't until 1941 when Santee Cooper Electric Company began the Santee Cooper Hydroelectric and Navigation Project. Everything's got a big name.
Yeah, what the heck?
This project was backed by President Franklin D. Roosevelt, hoping to provide more jobs during the Great Depression. This project was to build an 8-mile-long dam with 62 tainters gates to provide hydroelectric to the surrounding counties, including my county, Horry County. The lake formed by the dam that provided power is now called Lake Marion. The town of Ferguson wasn't relocated, so the town was simply flooded with rising waters of the lake, filling in the remaining space of once booming lumber town. On days when the tide is low, you can see still the kiln and other foundations of the town. In 2008, South Carolina experienced a drought, which caused Lake Marion to go low enough that people In 2008, South Carolina experienced a drought which caused Lake Marion to go low enough people could see the remains of Ferguson. Unfortunately, because people suck, they took four-wheelers out to the old structures and took remains and even desecrated graves.
They took people's remains?
I don't know. Well, I meant like remains of like the foundation and like historical.
Oh, gotcha.
Sorry,
Okay.
yeah, I should have. That was probably a bad word to use, honestly. But like remains of like the foundation and pieces of what would be honestly historical artifacts. I mean, this is a town from the 1800s, and we are now in 2008. You know, and people are going out there and taking this and desecrated graves. Also, I know people suck. Like we can't have nice things.
We do. No.
Also, when the government came in to get this project done, they ran out of enough time to clear all of the stumps of the cypress trees from the lumber company. So it looks like an old bone sticking out of the water. If you've ever seen like a cypress tree that comes out, and cypresses are very hardy trees. They can adapt to any of their kind of climate. So being literally submerged in water does not kill them, you know.
Yeah, okay.
So with all these cypress trees and the roots sticking out, it's like a tree graveyard that was flooded, peeking its head out just above the water to remind you of the past that still remains. Now I want to share the story of Jerry Lamars Johnson. He was a 24-year-old father of an 8-year-old son and worked as a landscaper. On April 24th, 2018, he was reported missing after not showing to work. And when no one could contact him, his family became worried. The next day, about 80 miles away, Jerry Johnson's body was found by a fisherman floating in Lake Marion. His body had 8 gunshot wounds from close range by a handgun and was found strapped to a dolly and had cinder blocks attached to weigh the body down.
Oh, God.
There was also significant chemical burns to the skin, making detectives believe lime was used on the body. Kimberly McLeod came forward to tell police that on April 20th, she bought lime, gloves, and plastic sheeting for her boyfriend, Anthony Dill. When police go to talk to Dill, they learn the name of Stephen Stinnett, who is the actual person they should be talking to. The police first talked to Stinnett's girlfriend, Teal Leviner. Why am I so bad at names? I should put it on my disability, man. Teal Leviner. That's what I'm settling with. The story was that Johnson had dented Stinnett's truck, which sent him into a rage when he shot Johnson in his front yard.
That is not something you shoot someone over.
Yeah. I mean, I think. Yeah, we'll see. And he did this in front of his friend Andrew Scurry. So Andrew and Stinnett buried Johnson in the backwoods together. But Stinnett got worried about Andrew staying quiet, so that's when Stinnett asked Dill to move the body. But then it gets worse. Because once he gets paranoid again, he gets the help of his mother, Lisa Evans, and his girlfriend, Levener, to now dump the body into Lake Marion.
Oh.
A warrant was then issued for Stinnett, and he was arrested after a small chase had occurred. Everyone else involved was arrested as well. Stinnett and Andrew's stories didn't quite line up, though when they were questioned, Andrew claims Stinnett killed Johnson because of him being involved in the disappearance of Naomi Collins, who was a 28-year-old woman who was last seen leaving a local club with an unidentified man. There was no cold, hard proof that Johnson was involved in Naomi's disappearance, only town rumors that went around saying he killed her.
More people keep getting added to this story.
Yeah. It was well, at first when I was researching this, I wasn't even going to add the Naomi thing because it was like a whole nother case, but then it wound up being important to the case that as to, what the suspected reasoning was. Because first it was the dented truck, and now we got Naomi in here, but the details are kind of sketchy on the Naomi thing.
Yeah.
Stinnett apparently loved Naomi, and that's why he killed Johnson, not because of the dented truck. Also, on April 15th, only 12 hours before Johnson was killed, Stinnett posted a status to social media saying, quote, "Naomi's killer will soon be dealt with," end quote.
Oh, what are you doing that for?
I know. Because now he's dead, and what are we going to say? Like, oh, how coincidental he's dead.
Right.
Stinnett was arrested for murder, while the other 4 were charged with accessory. While he was awaiting trial in 2019, he executed a plan he masterminded with other inmates to start a fire and riot in the prison, leading to a jailbreak. And it actually worked. Stinnett escaped, but was quickly taken back in. He took a plea deal for his confessions to killing Jerry Johnson. Stephen Stinnett was sentenced to 35 years for his murder. So with murder and the desecrated graves of hard-working lumbermen in Lake Marion, is it haunted? There will always be local lore and campfire stories, but there were not many stories of ghost sightings. Maybe you'll have to go see for yourself if the bones of old cypress trees or the wetlands and the foundation of the ghost town of Ferguson is the only thing haunted, or is it haunted by its past? And that is the little town of Ferguson here in South Carolina that I have gone multiple times to Lake Marion to go fishing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Does it seem spooky or give off a weird vibe?
The cypress trees that you can see like sticking out of the water, like I said, it's an eerie vibe because it's like just those dead bones of the tree. Now, I have not seen the kiln or anything personally because, like I said, you can only see those things usually on a low tide. And I only knew about the town of Ferguson being under Lake Marion. I didn't know all these details until researching all of this.
Yeah.
So, it was kind of cool to be able to research.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Weird how a town can just go underwater like that.
And just disappear.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's it. Graves and all.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it was many years that was open. So I don't know. I didn't specifically look up, or I don't know if they have the information as to how many bodies could be buried out there. But I mean, it was a town open for many, many years. So
yeah. Yeah, who knows?
Yeah.
All right. Next, I'm going to talk about Lake Ronkonkoma. Lake Ronkonkoma is Long Island's largest, deepest freshwater lake and is surrounded by woods and white sand. Thousands travel here each summer to enjoy the water and scenery, but it also has an eerily long list of deaths by drowning. There are many locals who won't even dip their toes into the water.
Oh, I trust the locals, man.
Yeah, right? This lake claimed at least 160 lives between 1800 and the 1970s.
I mean, that's just for a lake. And I know that's over 100 years. But that's at least one a year
Yeah.
of like drowning. And I'm sure it wasn't
Yep.
spaced out evenly like that. But I mean, that's
Yeah, a lot.
of drownings for one body of water.
It sure is. Lake Ronkonkoma has been tied to an eerie colonial legend of a 17th century indigenous princess of the Saltalkit Nation named Tuscawanta, who fell in love with a white settler across the lake named Hugh Birdsall. It's said that her father forbid her from seeing him, so every day for the next 7 years she wrote Birdsall love letters on pieces of bark and tried sending them to him by floating them across the water. But she never got a response from him, and in despair, she rowed out to the middle of the lake and stabbed herself in the heart and died.
He probably just never got them, girlfriend.
Yeah, I don't know.
What if he got them and then rowed her back and she just never got his bark?
That's true, yeah. What if they just didn't make it across the lake?
Yeah, that's what I'm
Unless
saying.
she was like watching, making sure it floated the whole way over. I don't know. It's a pretty big lake, so I don't know how that would have happened.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I don't know.
True love, man.
Every year since then, the Lady of the Lake, as she's come to know, has made it her mission to grab a young man from her watery grave to replace her lost love.
Ooh,
And the
vengeance.
statistics do kind of back up this legend, though, because there was almost one a year, and only 3 of the known victims have been female.
Oh shit! No way.
Yeah.
I like that. That's pretty. That's pretty damning evidence, honestly.
Yeah, that's eerie. Yeah.
Yeah, that is. Because I don't know.
Oh yeah.
Sorry, I was gonna say like I don't know. I feel like
Mhm.
it should be not even like exactly even, but only 3 were female.
Right? Isn't that weird?
Yeah.
What are the odds?
Yeah.
Someone throw those statistics at us. What are the odds?
Yeah. What are the odds? Someone do the math.
Former Lake Ronkonkoma lifeguard David Igneri, who was 74 at the time this article I wrote was written, who has a doctorate in colonial American history, said that in the 34 years he helped guard the lake's beaches starting in the 1960s, there were 30 drownings alone, all male victims.
Wow.
He told the New York Post, quote, "I heard it for years, all the legends, the princess curse. I thought it was all malarkey, just myth." Then he himself...
I thought it was malarkey too, my guy.
Right? And then he himself had a terrifying premonition about a drowning. He said that in the months leading up to July 4th of 1965, when he was a lifeguard, he had the same dream every night for a week. And he's quoted saying, "I was diving in very, very deep for somebody, and I couldn't find them. Each time he reached the water's surface in his dream, he saw fireworks. The dream was so unsettling that he got permission from the town to have extra lifeguards on July 4th.
Wow. I mean, go with your gut, man. I trust, like, go with your gut feelings.
Mm-hmm. In any situation. Igneri said, quote, "We had a few minor rescues that day, and then the epileptic boy went down.
Oh.
We all cried as the police grappled with the body of the 6-foot, 15-year-old boy.
Oh.
We saw him taken away. I said to my guards, 'We're closing the beach today. Call the town.'" End quote.
That's sad.
Yeah. And then he's also quoted saying, "As the days went by, I said, you know something, maybe there is a princess." End quote.
Yeah, it makes you question when you're like sitting there witnessing something like that, I guess.
Yeah. Igneri said he also had his own possible death experience with the princess. He said he was swimming toward a local bar and grill on the edge of the lake known as the Lighthouse, and when he got close, he found himself swimming in place. He's quoted saying, "And then I get picked up and I get thrown back. The legend does say that the princess lives in the deep hole near the lighthouse. That's where I was." End quote.
That's crazy.
And that's the legend of Lake Ronkonkoma.
Well, I think it's a princess after her love. And, I can't blame her that she needs over 100 because men suck. Just kidding.
Right. They do.
New one each year, keep it lively.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But yeah, wow. I like that. That's a good one. And that was in New York.
And there is a statue there of her now that someone carved that they keep at the lake.
Oh, that's
so
cool.
You can go see it in person.
I'll have to look up a picture of it.
Yeah, I'll post it on our Instagram if anyone wants to see it.
Very cool. So I am talking about Weissensee, Berlin's abandoned children's hospital. In the early 1900s, the government was faced with the rising numbers of infant deaths. The solution that they came up with was building a children's hospital. They hired architect Carl James Buring. Yeah, Buring. Yeah.
We'll go with that.
Yeah. To build this hospital in 1908. He was known for multiple completed buildings in the Berlin area. The construction of the hospital was started officially in 1909. The land where the hospital stood was 28,000 square meters. Why didn't I put square feet in here? I don't know. But square meters. Oh, well, I put a note in here that it's just under 7 acres. So I guess that's a better way to look at it. They also built a dairy farm on the property with around 36 cows. This farm produced fresh milk that was given to the babies and the mothers in the hospital. Any extra supply was sold to make the hospital some money. The hospital officially opened in 1911 for its first patients. The name of the hospital was the Slogens- und Kinderkrankenhaus Provinz. Which means the Children's Hospital of Prussia.
We're sorry to any Germans we offend.
I'm so sorry. I do not mean anything by it, but I can barely speak English, so...
Yeah.
I'm not doing my language any justice either, I promise you. This hospital was the first children's hospital to open in Germany. This hospital became known for its modern treatments and its use of updated technology for its time. This hospital was able to handle around 40 patients when it opened, but through various extension projects of the hospital, it eventually was able to handle 100 patients. The most recent extension occurred in 1987, where an entire additional wing was added. This hospital made it through both World Wars and the Cold War. Only 10 years after its final expansion, the hospital had to close down due to decline in population and of financial struggles. In 2005, the land was sold to a Russian investor who seemed to lie about his intentions with the hospital. He made promises of reopening the hospital with new treatment for AIDS and cancer. However, ever since the purchase, the investor has done nothing to this location. Rumors were spread around town about new radio wave technology to cure cancer. So I'd say that this guy was honestly just a scammer, because that was what he was saying he's bringing to this hospital.
That's what it sounds like.
Yeah. The locals were so upset about this man's claims that he was taken into the local court, as people were asking for proof of his claims, which he could not produce any. So the court system fined him and took away his ownership of the land where the hospital was. The government took over the hospital, but nothing was done to this building. In 2015, a metal fence was put around the building to keep out trespassers. People are going to people, because the fence did not stop the 15 fires that were set in 2015 by shithead people.
15.
15 fires. This building now sits abandoned, decaying away slowly, but it looks as beautiful, honestly, and very, very spooky that I would love to go and see it.
And we'll post a picture.
Yes. Yeah, it's definitely got that, the overgrowth and mossy stairs and, just the architecture of, like, back in that day. It's a really cool building.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
All right. Next up, I have another haunted lake. Next, I'm going to talk about Lake Lanier. So Lake Lanier is named for a Georgia poet and musician, Sidney Lanier. Lake Lanier was created in the 1950s when the United States Army Corps of Engineers built Buford Dam for purposes that included flood control, power generation, and recreation. It is the primary source of water for Gwinnett County in Georgia. The lake has 692 miles of shoreline and is 26 miles long, covering almost 47 miles of the original riverbed. At the dam, the lake is more than 200 feet deep. Lake Lanier is considered full when its surface reaches 1,071 feet above sea level.
Wait, what state are we in?
Georgia.
Georgia, okay. Wow, above sea level. I mean, we're flat as fuck over here down in the southern East Coast, so hell yeah, that's actually pretty.
That's pretty high.
Yeah.
The current lake level normally rises during the winter and early spring and falls during the hot summer months. The Corps of Engineers releases a weekly average of about 4.9 billion gallons of water per day from the Buford Dam for power generation and to maintain water flow in the Chattahoochee River for downstream users and endangered species habitat. The total cost...
Can't help it.
The total cost to create the lake was about $45 million, including buying 50,000 acres at an average of $50 per acre beginning in 1948.
Wow. Well, I just told you what it cost for acreage, and that was back in pretty much right around... Yeah, it was end of 1800. Yeah, it was, but close to the 1900s. So within 50 years, I mean, look at inflation there.
It went up quite a bit.
Yeah. From $2 an acre to 50.
Yeah.
And you're in...
I'll still take 50.
Yeah, and you're in Georgia, so I don't know technically back then if it would have been cheaper, but, like...
Right, yeah, I don't know.
Crazy.
The government moved 250 families, 20 cemeteries, 15 businesses, and 6 churches to make room for the lake.
Well, at least they had the decency to move it this time, because my people didn't.
I know, yeah, they just got buried.
Yeah, they just literally...
Since its creation, Lake Lanier has been the site of numerous drowning incidents and boating accidents. The lake's murky waters and submerged structures make it particularly dangerous, contributing to the high number of unexplained drownings and boating fatalities. Over 600 people have lost their lives in Lake Lanier since its formation, with some bodies never recovered.
Wow.
Over 600.
600.
That's insane.
That is insane.
And the lake isn't that old.
No, mine was back in the 1800s,
Yeah. The frequency and often mysterious nature of these accidents have given rise to rumors of dark forces at play. This has led people to believe in the Lake Lanier curse. According to AtlantaGhost.com, quote, "The forced displacement of communities and the flooding of cemeteries have fueled the belief that the spirits of those who once lived in the area are unable to find peace. The thought of entire towns being submerged with the remains of ancestors left underwater adds a layer of melancholy and mystery to the lake's history. It is believed that the souls of those whose graves were disturbed during the creation of the lake wander the area seeking recognition and peace," end quote.
Yeah, I think it's valid. Even though mine, the bodies were left there, it's still a disturbed grave that, I don't know. I wholeheartedly believe in energy, and, that's where that person was meant to lay to rest, and you fucked it up. So, of course, I'd be pissed if I was a spirit running around.
Yeah.
Get off my lawn.
Yeah. Their souls are unrested now.
Yeah.
One of the most enduring ghost stories associated with Lake Lanier is that of the Lady of the Lake. So we have another Lady of the Lake. In 1958, two women, Delia Parker Young and Susie Roberts, were driving across Brown's Bridge when their car plunged into the lake. The vehicle was discovered a year later, but only one of the bodies was found. Delia Parker Young's body was recovered, but she was missing her hands and toes.
What? Well, okay. Scavengers, maybe.
Well, I guess decomp too. She was
Yeah,
in
that
the
too.
river for that long.
Yeah, that's true.
But since then, there have been numerous reports of a ghostly figure in a blue dress seen near the lake, believed to be the spirit of Delia, searching for her lost appendages.
Where are my fingers at? Valid. If you're just driving down the road, all of a sudden you're dead in a lake, and you're like, well, shit, where'd my fingers go? I guess that would be top concern, really.
Yeah, it's true. And I'd be pretty terrified if a ghost asked me where their fingers were.
I'd say, bitch, you could take mine. It's fine. Leave me alone.
The spectral figure known as the Lady of the Lake has become a central figure in the haunting lore of Lake Lanier. And Brown's Bridge, where they had their accident, spans Lake Lanier, has also been the site of several fatal accidents. Motorists have reported experiencing sudden car trouble, seeing apparitions, and feeling an unsettling presence while crossing the bridge. These accidents have further cemented Brown's Bridge's reputation as a haunted location. Visitors and locals have reported witnessing strange lights hovering over the lake, hearing disembodied voices, and experiencing sudden drops in temperature. Fishermen have told stories of feeling something pulling at their lines only to reel nothing in. Which, I mean, I feel like that happens all the time. But
yeah, I was going to say, as somebody who fishes, yeah. That's like
yeah. Swimmers have also reported feeling unseen hands grabbing at their legs, trying to pull them under. Several houses and structures. Yeah, that's a little creepy. That I don't like.
But yeah, I'd be pooping my pants in the lake.
Yes. Several houses and structures near Lake Lanier are also believed to be haunted. People living in the area have reported hearing footsteps, doors slamming shut on their own, and seeing shadowy figures moving about their homes. The haunted reputation of Lake Lanier and Brown's Bridge has also attracted media attention, resulting in books, articles, and TV shows exploring the eerie tales within the area. Paranormal investigators and ghost hunters frequently visit the lake and the bridge. And that is the tale of Lake Lanier.
I do know of Lake Lanier, and I wholeheartedly believe that.
Yeah, I feel like it's pretty well known for the amount of death that happens there.
Yeah, that motherfucker's haunted.
Mm-hmm.
You can't tell me otherwise.
Yeah, 600 deaths? No thanks.
Yeah. No. You won't catch me in Lake Lanier, that's for sure.
No, me either. I'll be staying far away.
Yeah.
I'll look from a distance.
Pictures is all I need.
Yeah.
All right. So my next hospital is Allegheny Lunatic Asylum. Is located in Weston, West Virginia. It was known as a few other names like West Virginia Hospital for the Insane and Weston State Hospital.
Yeah, it sounds a lot better than Lunatic Asylum.
I know. When I first looked this up, I was like, that's kind of harsh.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah, the choice of words here, and we didn't choose right here.
No.
It was known as a few other names. Oh, sorry. He distracted me. I'm sorry. You see him?
I guess so.
He's distracting me. In 1858, Virginia General Assembly approved the plot of land purchase and the construction of the hospital near the West Fork River. This area was still part of the state of Virginia at the time. Most of the materials to build the hospital were sourced from the surrounding land. This included blue sandstone from a quarry in Montclair, West Virginia. The Civil War put construction on hold in 1861. Also in 1861, Virginia tried to secede from the United States, and while that was being voted on, the government put a halt on all government funded projects, including the asylum. They demanded the money back that funded the construction, but before the transaction could be completed, the plan for Virginia to succeed was voted against, and the construction continued in 1862. But not without trouble, as the Civil War was actively in the asylum's backyard. Both Union and Confederate soldiers used the building to hide, and also raiders stole some of the supplies from the construction site. The building has still not opened when West Virginia became a state in 1863. This caused the hospital to rename itself West Virginia Hospital for the Insane. Finally, in October 1864, the first patients were accepted through the doors. However, all of the construction was not completed until 1881. The hospital even had separate rooms for Black people built by 1873. The plan was for the hospital to be self-sufficient, so they built a dairy farm, a plumbing system, and of course a cemetery. The name was changed once more in 1913 to Weston State Hospital. In 1935, a patient set fire in the hospital, causing the wing to be rebuilt. This was the nicest part of the hospital in comparison to the conditions of the rest of the place. Hospital people like to set fires.
I guess so.
I want to know how they're doing it. Where's the lighter at? It's a different time. They were probably smoking in the hospital and everything else too, actually.
Yeah, probably, yeah.
Like all hospitals, they struggled with overcrowding and understaffing. But I really need you to listen to these numbers, okay? The hospital was built to house 250 patients in their rooms, for each of them to have an individual room. By 1880, the hospital held 717 patients. In 1938, the hospital held 1,661 patients.
What the hell?
Then, in 1949...
It's over 4 people per room.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Did 4 beds even fit in these rooms?
You'll see later, I talk about lack of furniture, all that stuff.
Oh my God. It's all about money.
Yeah. Then in 1949, it was 1,800 patients. And 1950 is the peak of 2,600 patients. Again, it was built to hold 250. There was 250
So you said 8,000?
2,600.
In 250 rooms.
Yeah, 2,600 patients, and then we have 250 rooms.
And they didn't expand.
No. I mean, during this time, 1949, 1950, we just got out of the Great Depression.
So people were just probably on the floor in the hallway.
Yeah, everywhere. Understaffed. Just people everywhere.
It'd probably be like 20 patients per nurse. Like,
literally.
That's insane.
Insane patients. 20 patients that back then they deemed insane. I know that's not proper terminology now, but the majority of the patients.
Yeah, that's right. These are psych patients. These aren't just like medical.
No, this
patients.
isn't just hospital. This is not just like, oh, I got the flu, here I am. No, these are psych patients. Yeah.
Yeah. So that sounds very dangerous, having all these people bunched together like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Could you imagine?
No, I would have quit day one.
Yeah, I know. I mean, I would, yeah. The majority of
kudos to those nurses that did that.
Right? Like, I don't know what would make you want to get up and go to work each day, honestly, at that point, because obviously, because it's a government-run building, they didn't give a fuck about nobody
Mm-hmm.
Not even just the
Yeah.
patients. They didn't care about the workers. Nothing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's crazy.
The majority of patients were alcoholics, addicts, epileptics, and mentally handicapped individuals. There was a news report in 1949 that there was an insufficient amount of beds and other furniture. There was poor sanitation, little to no lighting, and no heating in majority of the building. And we're in West Virginia. I mean, we get winters there,
Mm-hmm.
as you can.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm not surprised by any of this, unfortunately.
yeah, it is unfortunate. Yeah, as you can imagine, with this much crowding and not sanitary conditions, there was a lot of death in this asylum, and I would imagine it was a lot of infections, is what I would think.
Yeah, I say this lake hospital is going to be turning into a regular hospital with everyone getting sick.
Yeah, everybody's getting sick, and they're probably not equipped to handle that kind of thing. It's a psych hospital, you know?
Right. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, do they even have medical doctors there or just psychiatrists?
I did not read anything about like doctors. I just have the like reading about nurses and things.
Yeah.
There is no official death count from the hospital, but historians guess that it is in the 5-figure range.
Jeez.
Weston State became a victim to Walter Freeman. I don't know if you know that name, but he.
Sounds kind of familiar.
It does sound familiar to you?
Yeah.
He was very fond of lobotomies and encouraged them to try and help the mental health crisis and hopefully lessen overcrowding by calming people down with this barbaric procedure. So
And it's funny, I just watched the movie Shutter Island the other day.
Did you? I haven't seen that in forever.
Yeah, because I hadn't seen it in a while.
Yeah, I haven't seen that in forever.
Yeah, I haven't seen it since it came out.
Yeah. Thankfully, the overcrowding had went down some by 1980 because mental health was being handled differently. By 1986, Governor Arch Moore wanted to turn the asylum into a prison and build a new hospital. Instead, they settled on building a new hospital named William R. Sharp Jr. Hospital in the same town as Weston. They then closed Weston State Hospital in 1994. This was a forced closure by court order after a lawsuit by multiple family members of patients. In 19
Good.
Yeah, I know. I mean, it took long enough. 1994. Come on.
Yeah. Yeah.
In 1999, both county and state police officers decided it would be a good idea to use the abandoned asylum as a paintball field, causing damages to every single floor of the building, and this was a 4-story hospital. Some of these officers were let go because of this incident. In 2004, a small museum was opened in the first floor, but it had to be shut down due to fire code violations. The West Virginia Department of Health put the asylum up for auction on August 29th, 2007. The bidding started at $500,000, but the 242,000 square foot building sold for $1.5 million to Joe Jordan. Once he was the owner, he began small maintenance projects, and by 2007, he had things cleaned up enough that he had started offering paranormal tours and hosted a fall festival on hospital grounds that year. The bottom, right? That would be cool. I'd go to a fall festival in an asylum. Yeah, hell yeah.
Yeah, me too.
The bottom floor is where you can find a few rooms used as museums, and you can also tour the rest of the building. And they offer night tours for the extra spooky stuff. You can see the operating room, the morgue, and some of the staff apartments. Some ghosts you may see on the tour include a 9-year-old girl named Lily. Her mother came to the hospital unaware she was pregnant and died during childbirth. The staff raised Lily in the hospital until she sadly died of pneumonia at the age of 9.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, there's a spirit of a nurse they call Elizabeth who roams the hallways. There is a spirit of a man who died of a heart attack in the tub, and he haunts the bathroom still. And depending on his mood, if you ask him his name, it's either Jesse or James.
Okay.
Those were all of the nice ghosts that you can find at the asylum. And so here are some of the bad ones. And the story's kind of rough. 2 very mentally ill patients tried to hang a patient with a bed sheet without success. So instead, they put the patient's head, under the bedpost and then jumped on the bed multiple times.
What?
Yeah, isn't that sick?
Who was watching these people?
Well, who do you think? There's no staff, Kirsten. They can't watch everybody.
I know. That's horrible.
That is horrible. It's a horrible death. These 2 sick individuals show themselves as black shadow figures, and you can experience lightheadedness, drained feeling, and emotional distress from all of the energy in this area.
Hmm.
People have gotten voices on the spirit box and have also been scratched. The asylum was featured on Ghost Adventures, Ghost Hunters, and Paranormal Lockdown, plus a few others that I didn't name. So if you would like more information on that, you can go check out any one of those episodes. But that is what I have on the... What do we call it? They didn't change the name once he bought it. Like, I don't know what they call it now, but, you know.
Yeah.
The asylum.
Oh, that's disturbing.
Yeah, that was...
in many ways.
Yeah. I couldn't imagine living there. Like, having... I mean,
No.
you know, having to be committed there.
Right. Because I'm sure most of it was against these people's will.
Yeah, I'm sure it was. And, you know, way back then, mental illness was by far not understood by any means of any sort of imagination.
No, yeah.
So, of course, the few reports that I have and can tell you, it was probably 10,000 times worse, let's be honest.
I'm sure, yeah. I don't even want to imagine what it looked like there every day.
Yeah.
And then next, or last up, I should say, I have Gore Orphanage. Gore Orphanage, otherwise known as Light of Hope. So 2 very opposite names. Light of Hope was the actual name of the orphanage, was established in 1902 by a religious zealot named Reverend Johann Sprunger. The orphanage was located on Gore Road in Vermillion, Ohio. The road runs along the boundary line dividing Lorain County from its western neighbor, Huron County. Due to the popular association of the institution with the road, the name of the street came to be known as Gore Orphanage Road, a fitting name for the location of an orphanage with a gruesome history.
I was going to say, like, it's so... I knew about this just because it popped up in my research when I was researching my own asylum to do. But I was like, Gore? Like, who names an orphanage Gore?
I know. Right, yeah.
Poor kids. Already going, like, where are you going today? I'm going to that Gore place.
Yeah, but it's technically called the Light of Hope.
Yeah, which, I mean, is better than Gore.
Not really,
but yeah, it's a lie.
Yeah.
Is what it is.
Yeah. Johann Sprunger and his wife, Katharina, moved to the Vermillion area after the former orphanage they ran in Bern, Indiana, was destroyed by a fire. 3 orphan girls were reported to have perished in the original Light of Hope fire in Indiana. 2 of Sprunger's former Indiana businesses had also endured fires. Prior to moving to Ohio, the couple also lost their 7-year-old daughter, Hilaganda, and a son named Edmund, who died at birth. The deaths appeared to spark a passionate obsession for religious pursuits in the couple.
Oh. So, religion is going to be part of this.
Yeah, so I don't know if the other fires they were involved in were set by them, if they're just a coincidence.
Well, a theme today is fires in hospitals, so...
Right, yeah.
I can't say now I'm surprised, now that we're on the 3rd story of it. So.
Right, because an orphanage they ran and 2 of their other businesses all ended by fire. So, what's going on?
What year are we in?
The orphanage was established in 1902.
Okay, because I was going to say insurance fraud, maybe,
So
but I
early
didn't.
1900s. Yeah.
I don't know what that's all about back in the 1900s.
Right, yeah, I don't know.
But it's kind of weird, that all three of those buildings burned, and that's the ones they own.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Suspicious.
It is suspicious. The new orphanage site just outside of Vermillion, Ohio, consisted of 4 sets of farm buildings and covered 543 acres. An abandoned mansion was also located on the property. The once magnificent house was built in the mid-19th century by Joseph Swift, a successful farmer. Its many rooms were covered with elaborate furnishings, ornate woodwork, marble columns, and other lavish decorations. But bad luck soon came to the Swift mansion. In 1831, Swift's 5-year-old daughter, Tryphenia, died. In 1841, Swift's 24-year-old son, Herman, also died. Soon after Swift's fortunes dried up due to poor investments in the railroad business, he sold the home to Nicholas Wilbur, a renowned spiritualist. Mysterious rituals and seances were said to be held regularly in the secluded mansion home, conjuring up the spirits of deceased children. The ghosts of children were said to appear frequently at the seances held in a special room of the home. Wilbur's children were rumored to be psychic but could communicate with the ghosts of dead children. While records and gravestones claim that 4 Wilbur grandchildren died from a diphtheria epidemic after the Wilburs moved from the home, residents insisted that they died at the Swift mansion and were buried there. The home was abandoned in 1901, and teenagers almost immediately began taking trips to the site, daring each other to enter the infamous haunted home.
Okay, well, again, perfect example where you can't have nice things because, bitch, at this point with my financial situation, I'll take an abandoned mansion that's run down. Let's go.
Right? I know.
Where's it at? I don't even care if it's got an access
Yeah.
road. I'll find my way there.
Right? Yeah, same. Yeah, I'm in the market for a home, so maybe I should look into
Abandoned mansion.
an abandoned asylum.
Yeah.
Yeah, or a mansion.
Or mansion. What? Abandon anything. I don't care.
Yeah, yeah. Reverend Sprunger did not utilize the abandoned home for the new orphanage. Instead, he attempted to build a new self-sustaining religious community on the property. He and his co-workers were devout, Bible-believing Christian people.
I knew it was going to get deep into that. I knew it.
A chapel room was located in the boys' schoolhouse for frequent religious ceremonies. Up to 120 children were residents of the orphanage at one time. Boys lived at a farm called the Hughes Farm and girls at the Howard Farm. The orphanage also housed a small printing press used to print their own school books, as well as a paper entitled Light of Hope. So, trigger warning, this part is a little disturbing. Orphan children ran away from the home, often wading through the Vermillion River to escape to Vermillion. The children told horrific stories of abuse, neglect, and slave labor. Mm-hmm. The children were said to eat a diet of calves' lungs, hog heads, and sick cattle if they were fed at all.
What the fuck?
Corn
Where's all
was
the good food going?
I don't know.
Why are we just getting the scraps of these pieces of these animals for these children?
I don't know. Probably the family ate the good food.
That's what I'm thinking. Like, you really that selfish? God damn.
Corn was boiled in the same pot used to boil soiled underwear.
Oh, man. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm not okay with that. That's not. That's not. I mean, boiled corn.
It's not funny. I'm laughing because I'm uncomfortable.
Yeah, it's terrible. It's really bad.
Yeah. It is very bad.
Boiled corn already, like from the start, they ain't seasoning that, and that's probably terrible. But to know that they're doing it, like, oh, come on.
Although there were cows on the farm, children were said to often only be given butter once a week and occasionally pepper or sugar.
Like as a meal?
Some butter. I guess.
What the fuck is happening here? And also,
this is why these children are running away from this place.
Well, yeah, I mean, they weren't staying because they were having a gay old time, you know? you know. But
Yeah.
to think that they have a farm, I don't know how many cows or anything have, but I don't know how many people they were feeding besides the children. But you cannot tell me that you have no meat to even spare for these children. Like like you're literally just that selfish and that much of a disgusting human being. You're blatantly not feeding these kids. That is disgusting.
This is all just abuse on purpose. Yeah, this
Blatant
is.
neglect. But
Mm-hmm.
let's open our Bible and continue
Yeah.
praising.
Let's preach from the Bible while starving children. Yes.
Yeah, God damn, I can't.
Make it make sense.
Make it make
It really
sense,
does.
please.
All right, so it's going to keep getting bad here.
No, okay. I'm glad for the warning, though.
The children's rooms were infested with rats and vermin.
Mm.
On occasions, rats crawled onto the beds and bit children while they slept. There was said to be only one bathtub for the boys, which they were allowed to use once every 2 weeks and had to use the same water.
Oh my God. What is what we have a water shortage here? There's a river outside.
Yeah.
What
Again, we're laughing because we are at a loss of words. Okay?
Yeah, this is
not funny. Yeah, I don't have an answer. I don't.
They would probably run away just to get a dip in the river. Get the crusties off their ass.
Yeah.
These poor kids.
I know.
That is terrible.
Yeah, it's horrible. I literally can't imagine. And just to know that like a lot of orphanages were like this.
Yes,
this
is not a once and doneer here.
Yeah, this was not an isolated event. Yeah.
No.
Children told stories of Sprunger and the farm overseers beating them with a strap until raw welts appeared on their bodies. Sprunger would also rent out the children of the home to neighboring farmers. I don't even want to know what happened there.
Oh my God. Are
Illnesses.
you kidding me?
I'm hoping it was just for like labor.
Stop. No, you stop that right now. The reality is there.
Illness.
It's just that tells you that it's not just the people who own this and how sick they are. It's the fucking locals too.
Yeah, other people are just letting this happen and being involved themselves.
Yeah, literally throwing money at them for a business, an inappropriate business transaction, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
Like throwing money at these people, understanding what's going on over there and doing nothing about it. What? I'm sick of it. I'm sick of here.
I hope everyone that worked at this orphanage or was associated with it, I hope you're all burning to death every day in hell.
I hope
you're just continually in pain.
I hope
nonstop.
Every day you wake up, you're reliving the most...
with diarrhea coming out your ass.
Yeah, the worst nightmare you've ever thought of. I hope every day you wake up and live it.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
While shitting your pants.
Yep.
God.
Oh. Illnesses and disease were allegedly to be treated only by prayers.
What? Shocker. I'm shocked. Let's pray the pain away.
Yeah.
God.
Witnesses stated the children received a lack of regular schooling. In 1909, an investigation was conducted, but because the state of Ohio had no laws or regulations pertaining to the operation of such institutions, nothing formally could be done about conditions at the orphanage, and the Sprungers admitted to much of the allegations against them.
Wow. And these kids can't do anything. They have no family. They are abandoned. They have nobody but this place. And nobody is advocating for them.
They have no one to rely on.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
This is fucked. I can't. Meh.
Yeah.
I'm so angry right now.
Yeah.
let me get
These people are admitting to these allegations, and they're just like, "Oh, there's no laws, so we can't do anything."
What a fucking ego. Let me meet Sprunger outside. Let's go. I'm gonna fucking show
I'm
you
sorry,
something,
like
my guy.
they didn't. There was nothing pertaining to abuse back then.
I
Like
mean,
abusing of a child.
honestly, I'm not surprised. I'm not, because back then it was all about like ownership of things, and they probably just seen it as like, that's your child, you own that thing, like.
Right.
Ugh.
Yeah, I don't know. Mr. Sprunger died 2 years after the investigation, and the doors of the orphanage permanently closed in July of 1916 after years of financial troubles. Pelham Hooker Blossom of Cleveland bought the orphanage property, leased it to farmers for a period, then sold the land. The Hughes house is all that remains of the Sprunger property. Part of the orphanage buildings burned, and the rest were torn down. But the land and the area is said to be haunted by, obviously, spirits of these poor children.
Yeah, these tortured souls of these innocents. Like, that's, I feel like that's the type of energy that permeates the air the most, is like,
yeah, that'd be a very heavy feeling.
God, I couldn't imagine standing there knowing, like, I got chills just thinking about it, like standing in that.
I know, I have goosebumps.
Yeah, like the amount of high energy that probably comes from the torture. Like, I could not imagine.
Yeah.
To have the gall to fucking be able to admit to what you fucking did tells me that you've done worse. And
yeah, that's true.
We probably can't imagine what worse is, but that tells me wholeheartedly that if he has the huevos to sit there and admit to what he did, he's done worse.
Right, yeah.
And that's fucked.
Yeah, there's a special place in hell for child abusers.
And this was a career.
Oh, and one of them was just murdered in prison yesterday. Did you see that?
I did. What's his name? The lead singer.
Ian Watkins from Lost Prophets.
Yes, I saw that.
Yeah, he was murdered in prison finally.
Yeah, fuck him. So,
yeah. I read something about, like, I guess he ran out of money. I guess he was paying for I don't know if this is true, but he was praying for protection and then ran out of money or something. And they got him.
Good. I'm so glad. Because
I don't know all the, like, I don't know the depths of that case, because people have said, like, the court transcripts are so horrendous that I have not chose to read through them. But I can imagine, I guess.
I do know, trigger warning, that he was charged with the attempted rape of a 1-year-old. And that's the only
Yeah, I know there were babies involved.
Yeah, that's the only sentence I needed to read to good riddance. Fuck off.
And women willingly giving their children to him? Yeah.
I'm going to be sick. I know
there were women charged previously too, yeah.
What a... God. People are disgusting.
Like that. Like that, yeah.
Literally, yeah.
Yeah, I don't even listen to it. I only knew like 3 of their songs, but I don't listen to them anymore. When I found out.
Yeah, I don't listen to them. But I don't judge somebody who does. Music is music. I'm not gonna, judge you for listening to a song. But
right, yeah. You can separate art from the artist,
Yeah, that's right. But honestly, I don't know what to say, because that's I don't know. I can't even. I don't have words. For people like that. And like, also, like I said, to bring religion into it like that as well.
Right. Yeah, that's what really gets me. Like, how the hell are you going to preach that you're a Christian and behind closed doors you're abusing children?
Yeah. Innocent.
Get the hell out of here.
Yeah, and also, like, you're probably not just like physical abuse, like all the other kinds of abuse that is obviously.
Oh yeah, every kind.
Yeah, every kind. With like, and like the pray, you beat them, you gave them the welts, and you're gonna pray that they get better.
Right, and like, what are you getting out of this? Like, it just brings you joy to see children in pain. Like, I don't get it.
Sick son of a bitch, Kirsten. We will never get it, and I'm glad we won't, because we can't get to that
No.
kind of fucking.
And why are these the people that are running these places? Like even the one I talked about in Gettysburg with that mistress, or not mistress, that head, whatever she's called.
Master, I don't know, yeah.
How she was like, had a torture dungeon.
Yeah. I almost covered that actually, like in detail.
Why do these people want to oversee children? Why do you even, I don't get it.
I don't know. I don't get it either. It's sick. Sick sons of bitches.
Mm-hmm. Like, you clearly hate your job. Please find a new one.
Yeah. Oh, far away from anybody else. Go kick rocks.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
God. Well, I mean, I got a feeling in my tummy. I'm sad we're kind of like ending it like this, but it is the reality out there.
Yeah.
That, thank God, orphanages really are not a thing.
Yeah.
You know. And
not that some foster homes are any better, because there's plenty of horrible things that go on still today, but
at least we seem to have some laws now, even though sometimes police are shitty that they don't enforce them, but we at least have laws.
Mm-hmm.
We can hope that the right thing is done.
Mm-hmm.
And with that being said, make like a shadow and follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube at
Lurking in the Shadows Podcast.
Check us out on TikTok at
Lurking in the Shadows Pod.
Any questions, concerns, case suggestions, or shoot us those bakery suggestions at
Lurking in the Shadows Podcast at gmail.com. And next week we will be back to our regularly scheduled programming. We do True Crime and Dime every 6th episode, so it is time for another True Crime and a Dime coming up next week. So keep lurking around for our next episode.
Bye. Bye.